All right, so where were we here? We have some sort of a board set up, essentially. So we have, well, we have some of our DOM. So let's get back to our dev tools. And let's like take a look at our roadmap, or not really a roadmap, but more so like a plan of action. So let's see. So we have some styling, we render the board and whatnot. So let's see what the API is returning, and let's build out our game data structure. And what do I mean by that? Let's jump into index.js, and we see, well, both in index.js and if you take a look at README, here are API endpoints. First, we need to get the categories, and then we need to get all of the other stuff. For example, like if I get category sports, then I need to get all the sports questions and answers and whatnot. So we have it here. Let's see what we got here. So we have an async function, fetch question and answers, and then we have fetch categories. So first we're gonna need to get some categories because question answer is gonna be per category, but so first we're gonna get all of the categories. So let's do that. Let's do a try catch. Let's see. Do I want to go with Copilot here? Maybe. I'll see if I get annoyed by it or not. So we'll do a try catch block. We have our API endpoint. Copilot should pick up on that. It gets commented out, but we'll see. And first let's get the categories. So try. And then, well, let's see what Copilot is doing. It says, okay, fetch, rhythm, Jeopardy, Heroku app, API categories, count, and column count. That's kind of right, but it will always give us back 6, essentially. And we want more because we don't want to be stuck on only 6 categories. So you know what? I'm gonna accept this submission or suggestion. I will catch an error, and I will then in here, I'll say console debug just the error. But let's come back to this endpoint. So Copilot picked it up for us that we want to go to this API request and then fetch the categories, but it wants to only fetch 6. I don't want that. I want to fetch all of them. So we'll go with 100, I think. It's going to be all right for now. Probably. And here's another thing. It wants to use fetch. But I want to use Axios. Now you can use fetch if you want, but I want to be using Axios. So you know what? Axios. Oh, are you listening to me? Creepy. No, it's just picking up what I want to do. All right, not column count, 100. Do I need to turn you off? All right, and then let's grab this and let's see the response. So I'll go and say console log, console log, response.data. And yeah, I guess in the end I want to return the response.data, so that's a good suggestion. Let's come back here and, well, when do we want to fetch categories? When I click the start game button. So let's dive into that. So we do have a start button, we do have a reset button, we do have some starter code for this event listener. So we have this add event listener click, start button. So are we grabbing the start button? Nope. So let's grab the start button first. So let's say buttons, const start button. It was able to infer from my index.html. Okay, so that's good. Oh, all right, you're my friend for now. I'm okay with that. So start button. And then what I want to do, well, when I click, it's already an async function, so that's good. So I guess we will then, await, 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 fetch categories. It's trying to guess some sort of a loading spinner, which we'll do eventually. But for now, we just want to fetch categories, and let's see what it does for us, because we want to explore, essentially, a little bit before we rush into something. Let's clear this up. Let's make this a little bit of a larger area, and let's start game. Did I event listener, wait, fetch categories, console log response data should be fine. Oh, yep, there we go. It just takes a little bit. This is why we probably will need a loader eventually. Okay, so we have some categories, right? So this is what I meant from before. So like if we only left it at column count 6, we would only get the first 6 categories. Here we have up to 13, and before we used to have a Jeopardy API, I think it was JSTOR. Now we have like a really lean one. It's up to 20, but really it's somewhere in the teens of the categories we have, because it's kind of like just like managed by 2 people. That's just their hobby. But the JSTOR API used to be great. As far as I know, it's still down. It might be up eventually, or I might make it my side project to restore it, but we will see. Okay, so we have await fetch categories. And we have a bunch of IDs. Okay, so we have an object ID, object ID, object ID, object ID. So we have from any, like baseball, whatnot, mentions. So we have something to work with. It's not a lot of categories, but at least later we can mix it up. Let's for now just do the first 6. And then from there, we'll see what we can do from there. So once we have some category IDs, then we want to, oh, that's a very lean API. Just 5 questions per category. Well, it is what it is. Maybe I'll find another one another time. So from there, I want to grab all of the clues. So basically questions and answers. And that would be in our fetch questions and answers. And as you notice, it takes a category ID. So we're gonna need to store some categories here and probably do a loop here at some point to fetch all questions. But let's first store our category IDs, right? Probably that's what we want to do. And then we'll be able to, actually fetch all of the questions and answers. So essentially what we need is just ID, because the title I think we gotta get from this fetch over here, questions and answers. You know what? I don't want to fight this for now, so I'm going to remove the text suggestions, and I'm kind of gonna go off, kind of like off the cuff here. Fetch categories. So we got this response. We know this response.data is what? Response.data is just an array of objects, and each of those objects has the ID key. So what we want to do is, well, we can do const category IDs equals response dot data dot map. We'll take a category, and we will return. We'll just one line it. We can one line, but I'll be explicit. Return category dot ID. So we're going over each one of these here, and we're just getting back an array of IDs. Right, so that's fine, and then we'll return these category IDs. Again, we can one-line it, but for now it's just going to be more explicit. Great, and from here, what do we want to do? Well, let's go back to our click listener for starting the game, which is await fetch categories. Okay, that's the one here. Let's do it in a try catch block. So try catch error. I want to get my IDs. So what's gonna be here? So const category IDs is going to be what? Well, await fetch categories, and that will get us back all of the IDs. From there, well, if not array is array, so what could I do? I could have, like, something of a fail safe. If I'm not getting anything back, if I got an empty array, I could just say nothing was fetched. So I could do something like if category IDs dot length is 0, triple equals to 0, console dot debug or log. I guess it's looking log, and no categories fetched. Oh, and then I'll just return early. Ideally, you would want to maybe like show an error message. Maybe we'll get to that. But if we do have some category IDs, what can we do? Well, for now, we can say, okay, for let I equals to 0, I is less than column count, because we only need what, 6 categories, whatnot. We'll randomize them later. Let's do it to do randomize. And then it's less than column count, okay, and then I++. And what do we want to do? Well, we want to get some data, const raw data or something like that, right? Yeah, right. Await. And then what are we going to do? We'll say, well, fetch questions answers. And then we'll say category IDs at I. So if we have, so let's say we have something like, right? Well, we'll see right here. Let's console log the IDs here. Console log category IDs. So we'd see what we're working with, and that will make sense in a second, hopefully. And from this raw data, we want to make some game data, because we have this game data list. Are we using this for anything? We should be using this for something. Or there is an empty array, which I made for a starter code. Seems like irrelevant now, but we might use it later. Or, well, actually, let's assign it. So instead of making this variable here, we'll put it in global scope, so we can actually access it from another function if we need it. So we will say, okay, category IDs is going to be this result of await fetch categories, and then we should have some IDs here, and then category IDs I, and then let's console log that raw data so we see what we're working with. That raw data. Okay. And for now, that's going to be all right, because see what the API is returning, right? I kind of know what the API is returning, because this is the very small version of that JSTOR API, not JSTOR, whatever it was called, the Jeopardy API, JSTOR is something else. But should be refreshed and whatnot. Let's run this. Okay. All right. So we have this right here. So we have some category IDs, right? And then we're gonna go up to the fifth one here, and then we're gonna fetch all of these. All right, and for now, it's undefined at index.js because we're saying fetch questions answers categories IDs I, but we have not done anything with this function just yet. So because the function just runs and returns nothing, so that's why it's undefined. So let's do that. Let's do a try and catch. Try a catch. Should I go back to my Copilot because of my constant typos? Console.debug error. If there's an error, I guess I'll build a URL, const URL, and that's gonna be what? We're gonna grab it from here. Category and whatever the ID is that we're going to plug in there. Whatever the ID is that we're going to plug in here, I'll interpolate the string, and then ID is going to be, well, it's going to be this category ID right here. Category ID, just so we know this URL, you know, and just so we are following the same convention, gonna do the same thing. It's, you know, it's an extra step, but it might be a little bit more clear. So then I build the URL and then I plug in the URL into Axios. Some Python people are gonna look at it here, it's like, oh my God, so many things that can be done with one line. Well, I mean, yeah, we can just plug this all into one line, but the whole point is to kind of see like procedurally how it goes from, you know, one step to the next. So await Axios.get, and we're gonna plug in this URL, right? And then what? Well, what are we gonna do? Well, we just want to get the data back. So because we're gonna do something with the data, return response.data. Await.get, Axios.get. There you go. And again, you can use fetch. I've been using Axios for so long now that it's just kind of like an extension of my personality at some point. All right, so we have this fetch categories, and we have this now in here. Now we should get some data, right? Save. Come back. This should have restarted. Should have restarted. Okay, all right. So we got something. All right, so yes, so this loop ran, right? So we have baseball, odd jobs, movies, category, time, and dining out. So it's all right now. It's always going to be these first 6. Is it 6? Yeah, that's 6. We're going to randomize them later, but it's always going to be the first 6 here. So let's do something with it. Let's do something with this, because if we open this up, right, we have a bunch of things: question, answer, created at, game ID, invalid count, updated at. So we really don't care about most of this. We don't care about the error. I care about the answer. I care about the question. Value, we can make up a random values. I mean, we could. I mean, I'm just gonna plug them in, but for now, you know, we'll just plug them in because they are just, yeah, they go in order from value. So you don't even need that. So this is, if this is gonna be the first one, it's gonna be 100, and that's gonna be 200. So we don't even need to grab the value. So all that we really care about is, well, yeah, the question and answer, right? So yeah, let's do that. And maybe coordinates to match them up. I might use the coordinates. I might not, but we will see. What can we do from there? So we have some raw data. We can do a check. We can just make sure we got something back, right? Because, you know, kind of like a validation. So if I didn't get anything back, go grab the next category. So in case I didn't get anything back, so if not raw data, if not raw data, or there's no clues in the raw data. Okay, so or not array is array. So it's like if there's no clues in there, continue. Go to the next one and try to get another one. This is not the best check, but you know, this will do for now. Otherwise, I'm gonna make some game data. Game data, and we're gonna get. We just want a title, and that's. What do we want? We want the title of the category. Okay, so because we're gonna plug that into here, into our header. So title is gonna be raw data, the title. And then we actually want the data itself. So what we're gonna do, and here's what we're gonna do a one-liner. Raw data dot clues dot map, and then we'll do, okay, we're gonna grab each clue. So we're gonna grab each clue, and then what are we gonna do? We're gonna go over each clue. So clue 1, clue 2, and we're gonna grab the question, which is gonna be clue.question, and we're gonna grab the answer, which is gonna be clue.answer. So question, clue.question, answer is gonna be clue.answer. And I think I'm gonna want the coordinates to match them up with, because all of this, right? All of this is going to go into this game data list. It's gonna go into this game data list. And well, let's see. If I just throw this in game data list dot push, and then that game data. And once we're done with all of this, I'll just console log our game data list, just so we know that we have it. This I will comment out for now. And then console.debug error or something like that. Okay, so that works. Let's remove that. Gonna have a finally. Finally is gonna be for our loading screen, or our loader. Because eventually we want to have, you know, some sort of spinner here, and it will activate the spinner here, go through the works, either error out or give us back our data list, and finally take out the loader. But we'll come back to that later. For now, it does nothing. Okay, let's run this. Let's run this. Start game. Okay, so this is index.js 113, right? That's my game data list, and let's see what we got. Okay, so we got a title, and we have a data array, question answer, and that can go into here. So this is going to be our first one, baseball, and then the other one is going to be odd jobs, which is going to go into here, and that's going to be movies, that's going to be category, and it's going to be time and dining out. So that works. I do want to probably match this one with the coordinates. I don't know if I'm going to use them. Meaning what? I want to know that this question answer is going to be at 0, 0, and this question answer is going to be at 0, 1, and this question answer is going to be mapped to 0, 2, and this question answer is going to be mapped to 0, 3, and so on and so forth. And this is going to be mapped to 1, 0, this is going to be mapped to, and this one is going to be mapped to 1, 0, is going to be mapped to 1, 1. So this is going to be the next column and down the rows, right? So column number 2 and column number 2, row 1, well, let's do 1, 0, and with our arrays and whatnot, and so on and so forth. So maybe I do want to have the coordinates, so it just makes my life easier. Maybe it won't make it easier, but so X is going to be I. So that's going to be our column because we're going through the columns. And then Y, how I'm going to do Y? Well, I'm going to do this way. Raw data dot clues dot index of clue. And I'm saying, okay, hey, index of clue, it's going to be this one, 0. Index of clue is going to be this one, 1. So 0, 1, 2. I'm essentially making sure that there's a clue in here. Because if not, then there is no Y coordinates. If there is not a clue at 4, then there will not be a Y coordinate for that way. Because then we're just going to get back an undefined clue. It's a little bit over the top. I can just increment Y with each one, so I can just set a Y variable and increment it each time. But this is technically a little bit safer, essentially. So think about that. So I'm saying go into raw data, go into clues, and make sure there's a clue there. And if there's a clue there, that's gonna be that Y coordinate. And then push the game data. Okay, so I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. And that's it for now, I think. Let's restart and let's start the game again. Okay. Okay, so see this one would be x0, y0. This one will be x0, y1. So this is going to be one column, one row down, same column, one row down, same column, 2 rows down, and whatnot. And then odd jobs would go in here, and the first clue would be x1, y0. Next clue would be x1, y1, and so on and so forth. Okay, so we have some data here. We have some data, we have some coordinates. We have these things in here. We have these cells with these coordinates. So now, well, figure out how to match the game data to the DOM. So, well, I guess we're gonna do that next.